The people who are here, they will want to go back to their hometowns.
If the people from the rural areas hadn't come here, that the population would decrease, it would still increase no matter what.
Inter-house debate competition is going to held, and subject is measure must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to urban areas. And debaters are, for the motion, house name is Slytherin, and they are Saiba Mariam Ishma, Najifa Mahjuba, Nafisa Nawad, and finally Chaudhry Niyama Qadir. And against the motion, Gryffindor's house name. And the debaters are Humaira Rahman, Mahdiya Ahmad Alija, Ashfia Firdausi, and Subhana Sarwar. Motion is, measure must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to urban area. For the motion, first speaker, Saiba Mariam Ishma.
Assalamu alaikum, my honorable judges, honorable guests, respected teachers, opponents, and members of the audience. Thank you all for giving me a chance to express my opinions. I am Saiba Mariam, and today I will be supporting the topic why measures must be taken to reduce rural migration to urban cities. After the Industrial Revolution, urban population from all over the world is increasing. There is a rapid migration of rural population to urban areas for jobs and better living. As a result, the population in the cities and towns are increasing in a huge amount, and at the same time, the rural population is dwindling. The rapid inrush of people in which rural people are coming to urban areas is pressurizing its limited space, causing all different types of health and environmental hazards. Again, the rapid inflow of which rural people are coming to urban areas, giving rise to housing problems, causing the development of slum areas. Illness and diseases spread like wildfire in slums. In the Khyber slum in Kenya, HIV infection is twice the national average. Many slum dwellers in developing countries live in a danger of a rise in sea level. Storms, earthquakes, and other disasters affect city slums more seriously than other areas. As substandard houses crumble or poor drainage system prolongs flooding. Again, the decrease in rural population affects agricultural productions due to the shortage of workers in rural areas. Bangladesh's rural economy, and specifically agriculture, has been powerful drivers of poverty reduction since 2000s. So, rather than coming to urban cities and being completely unemployed, rural people can stay at their particular area and work for the agricultural department, which will help our country economically. Besides, those who come from our rural areas to urban ones sometimes find themselves living in shanty towns or slum areas anyways. These new city residents are faced with problems that do not exist in the countryside: street crime, including gangs, as well as social inequality and discrimination. The urban poor struggle to make a living. Even if they do earn more than they used to in the rural areas, it's because the cost of city life is more expensive than rural areas. So my question towards my humble opponent is, how are we supposed to overcome the damage that has been to our city just because of urban migration? After looking at all the negative points and the hazardous impacts urban migration has, it is clear to say, for everyone to have an effective, safe, and well-developed life, urban migration must be stopped.
Okay. Now, against the motion from the House, Gryffindor, and first speaker, Humaira Rahman.
Honorable judges, respected teachers and guests, and my dear audience, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, the topic of our debate is measure must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to the urban areas. I'm Humaira Rahman, and today I'll speak against this motion. Well, after listening to the first speaker of my opponent team, what I feel like that what she's trying to say is that rural people shouldn't come here. Well, now my question is, why not? According to the news information and the current condition of our country, the rapid growth of cities and towns are showing a bad effect on the rural areas. Because when the rural people used to own small blocks of land for fermentation and vegetation, those are now decreasing. And so now, to feed their families and for a better way of earning, they have got no other choice but to migrate to the urban areas. And then, when they're in the cities, it's not very easy for them to find a job instantly. In the larger cities, there are many better job opportunities as factories, industries, and companies are growing in large number. And they struggle for jobs because of lack of education too. In urban areas, there are more educational opportunities with an access to extracurricular activities, which can also bring many job opportunities. People in urban areas also can access to enjoy different refreshments, such as they have shopping complexes and restaurants, as well as a broad range of healthcare providers from small doctor's office to the large hospital. But does the rural people have that? No, they don't. General Abidin is a famous painter, and he's from Kishoreganj. Jashimuddin is from Faridpur. He is also known as our Buliguri, as he's a poet. Michael Wadishanadotto, he is a very famous dramatist and a poet, and he's from Jashore. How many of these places are from large cities? What if these people couldn't display their work? Would then Bangladesh be the same now? A city wouldn't be a city if rural people hadn't come here and built up with their work. And what about our own forefathers? Are they from city too? So if you're worried about the population, take the measure. Do whatever you want. But don't deprive them from their right, because as human they have the right to do whatever they want just as much as we do.
Proposition side, second speaker, Nazifa Mahjuba.
Thank you for letting me express my opinions on the topic rural migration. My name is Nazifa Mahzuba and I am here as the second speaker supporting the topic measures must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to urban areas. Nature has always been very important to us. There are endless benefits of nature. Our lifespans depend on it. Isn't it true there is? And one of the reasons why we want to stop villagers coming to the cities is that they are destroying our nature. Before coming to the cities, they have big hopes and think they can do great jobs. But most of the time, they end up building slums in open spaces where there are trees and plants. They cut them and start dwelling there. They don't get good sanitation facilities, that's why they use the rivers and ponds around them. Alongside dirtying the water, it also kills the living organisms who dwell in the water bodies. Come on, nature is God-gifted. We need to save it. And without natural resources, it will soon be our end. Creating slums only doesn't affect the nature, it also affects our health. They spread germs and diseases in the air and pollute the air in many ways. It also increases mosquitoes. The mosquitoes also spread diseases like dengue and malaria. They aren't educated, so it's most likely they will not be getting high-class jobs. They need to survive. This is the reason they do this. So, if we stop them migrating here, their life wouldn't be difficult, neither the city people's. There are more empty lands in the villages. There is a lot more space to work upon. But my point is that instead of migrating here, creating slums and destroy the city, they could stay in the villages and try and build their own unique city. In developed countries like UK and Australia, they didn't have it made for them. They made it. So why should us Bangladeshi lag behind? Strong men could help build schools and hospitals for people. Those who can farm could cultivate and earn money for the cause. Moreover, if they do not farm and cultivate, will not be getting food. We should divide all the good facilities equally throughout the country. If all the good facilities are equally distributed, one place will not remain extremely congested and the other places will remain empty. They do not need to migrate to the cities. They can build up their beautiful city and make their life way easier by staying in the villages. I want to end up my speech here. Thank you. Once again, thank you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mahdi Ahmed Khadija to say her points and arguments against the topic.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, the topic of our debate is measures must be taken to reduce the migration of the rural population to urban areas. Well, the first speaker from my team has talked about the urban population and the rural population, which shows clearly that the urban population are in a better condition than the rural ones. Now, I want to talk about the facilities that the urban people are getting. Urban areas have better access to modern amenities and technologies like the internet, telephone, television, and satellite communication. People who live in urban areas usually live in concrete buildings. Now, if you look at the rural areas, people right there can really access into the internet because in most of the time there is no network. Even in most areas, there are no phone towers, which makes the communication difficult. In some rural areas, you would hardly see any concrete buildings. Most of the time, especially in summer, there is no connection of electricity. And they also have lack of good transportation as most of the roads are made of salt or broken, which could lead some kind of accidents. They can't just live like that forever, so there's nothing wrong with moving to the cities for their living improvement and protection. Now my point is, if one part of the citizen can get all the facilities, as I mentioned it earlier, so why and who are we to detract others? Aren't they part of the same country, living in the same country? You can't just discriminate and categorize them in groups. Please let us find it.
Now, I am requesting to come to stage from the fourth motion, glittering third speaker, Nafisa Nawara.
My respected judges, my dear opponents, and everyone present here, thank you all for letting me express my opinions on the topic rural migration. I'm Nafisa Nawar, and I'm here as a third speaker supporting the topic measures must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to urban areas. My opponents say that there is nothing wrong with moving the cities, but it is increasing overpopulation. Now, Dhaka has emerged as a city of crime and insecurity. Among the many negative social consequences of rural migration are the increase of incidence of crime and violence. Despite of growth and informal sector, industrial and other employment, Dhaka is dominated by the presence of a huge informal sector of economic activities. It has been estimated that about 65% of all employment in the city is in the informal sector. Work in the informal sector has a potential role in influencing the rural-urban migration. Many migrants seek opportunities in the informal sector and make their living. Here, a large number of people are involved with the informal economy of rickshaw pulling, hawker, roadside business, and etc. Others find jobs as drivers, drivers, mechanics, carpenters, and etc. A large segment of migrant population tends to be uneducated, unskilled, and ill-equipped for the city. Yet, they migrate with great hopes for a better life and in the metropolis. Sometimes these people ends up getting no jobs, and thus they have to choose the criminal paths. Such examples are drug trafficking, contract killing, smuggling, begging, etc. These criminal and antisocial activities are found to be located especially in the slums. These kind of criminal activities are continuously disturbing the nearby cities and dwellers. Thus, a healthy social environment in the city is threatened. Street children of our country are mainly forced to take up some kind of jobs in order to survive. To diversify the household's portfolio of income-generating activities, at the same time, economic poverty leads our children to become antisocial for the sake of their hunger. And sometimes it becomes a cause of stresses and tensions with the household and becomes an indirect cause of street migration. I'd like to tell my opponents that moving to the urban living doesn't always help the poor people of our country to be educated and lead a happy and permanent life. If a child can't study, the cycle of poverty is repeated and he or she never gets out of the cycle. It is a lifelong process from which, other than very few, none of the children can escape. Thank you for.
Thank you very much for your third speaker, Ashfia Firdausi.
Honorable judges, respected teachers, guests, and my dear opponent team. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today the topic of our debate is measures must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to urban areas. I'm Ashfia Firdausi, and today I'm going to speak against this topic. After listening to the previous speakers, people in the rural areas are really being deprived from their rights. As the first speaker of my team has said, rural people have to struggle when they come here looking for a job because of the lack of education. Well, that's true. Schools in the rural area are broken and there's no one to fix them. And as you're saying that they shouldn't come here, we are also depriving them from their rights. We all know our president, Abdul Hamid. He was born in 1944. Kamalpur Kishoreganj is now the 16th president of Bangladesh after he served as a speaker of national parliament. He is from a rural area too. And think, if we haven't given this chance, what would have happened? So all we're saying is let the measures be taken and let's not deprive them from their rights. Let them come and show us what they can do. Because you never know, what if a genius is hidden? Thank you, judges, and thank you everyone. So
I'm inviting from the team Slate Training, last speaker Chaudhary Niyamakade.
My honorable guests, judges, opponents, and members of the audience, Assalamu alaikum. I am Niyama Kadir. My humble opponent had said that people are being deprived of their rights by not coming to urban cities. I don't get it. How are they being deprived of their rights? And you had also said that Abdul Hamid is as a reference, and I don't get how it can be a reference. Today I will try to put forth my opinions on why measures must be taken to reduce the migration of rural population to urban areas. I, for one, support it. First of all, I would like to talk about overpopulation. Dhaka is their only city, sure, but that doesn't mean that everything is here. There is population in other cities. If people stopped coming and those who are already living in the villages could contribute with their own skills, they could grow into something better. Next, I would like to talk about our nature. Our nature is being harmed by people traveling to urban areas from rural migration. People in villages, they don't have a polluted air as us, which by the way, it happens because of so much population. Humidity is also a reason. They don't have such a polluted air as us, so they don't know how to take precautions against harmful bacteria. And like other countries, they don't have public sanitaries, so they destroy the very few greeneries we have left by urinating on them. Next, I would like to talk about the food system. If everyone from the villages came here and no one cultivated, we wouldn't get enough food. Next, the next other thing I would like to talk about is crimes and poverty. Our country is very high on the crimes and poverty list. Our country is being harmed by people from the rural migration. They don't live in very healthy areas and they don't often get the jobs they want. So they end up taking crimes. Women are being exploited on the streets. People can't go out at night safely. Women are being sexually harassed on, teased on, and acid attacks have become a very, very big issue due to rural migration. But lucky for us, there is a solution. Elderly people who are literate could go to the villages, educate the children at schools. Doctors could go and help treat the sick ones for free. And rich people here could financially support them. In this way, the people in the villages, they could help build so that we won't have to pay extra money for architects. That way, we can all be happy and live in a safe world. And in this way, we won't have to pay architects enough money. That way, we will not go through financial problems, and the people who are here, they will want to go back to their hometowns, as it is their hometowns after all. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much on the stage and deliver a speech.
My honorable judges, my respected teachers and guests, my dear audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The topic of today's debate is measures must be taken to reduce the rural population from migrating to urban areas. I am Subhana Sarwar and today I will be opposing this motion. Agriculture is a major source of income in Bangladesh, and farming activities form the backbone in the rural communities. Basically, they're the ones working very hard to feed us. And it is a good source of income, I agree, but it's not good enough to run their families. And in many situations, kids of our age they toil in the fields instead of studying. Most of the time, these kids are discouraged from studying because the condition of the school isn't that good enough, or there aren't that many teachers. And many of these kids in the rural areas don't go to school because they believe they won't get a good job in the future, which is true most of the times. And their parents can't do anything about this. They can't build a school made up of materials or concrete because they don't have the means, and they can't teach their own children because they themselves are uneducated. And then, so what if they want to go to the urban areas for the better future of their children? And who are we to stop them? We are not government officials, and even the government officials can't do anything about this, because as humans, they have this right to go anywhere as they wish. And if you're so concerned about population and pollution, then why don't we move to the rural areas? The population of Bangladesh is growing day by day by day. What guarantee can you give me that if the people from the rural areas hadn't come here, that the population would decrease? It would still increase, no matter what. Thank you for your valuable time.
Now it is closing statement session, and first of it, I'm requesting and inviting from the proposition side team leader to come on the stage and give her closing statement.
By now, I believe I had made my points clear enough, so hopefully everyone understands what I said. First of all, you said that agriculture isn't providing them enough money, sure. But if they come here, it's not like they are earning money, are they? They aren't earning any more money than they are in the villages. And I already said how we can support them financially, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. And we don't move to rural areas because we here have become literate enough, alhamdulillah, to know that we can help. So if everyone goes to the villages and no one is literate, then our country will not grow anyways. And how would it increase if they stopped coming? You had said that it would increase if they anyway stopped coming. So I would like to ask, how would it increase if they stopped coming?
Thank you very much from the finisher of proposition side and for her closing statement and rebuttal session. It was tremendous, I think, and we are waiting for another closing statement and rebuttal session from the opposition side, and I'm requesting the team leader from the opposition side to come on the stage and give the closing statement and rebuttal session.
Now, honorable judges, so far my team members successfully cleared our stand. I would like to ask Najifa, my opponent team member, where is the nature in town? I mean, how many trees do you see here? Are there really any tree right here? I mean, you can just see 10 to 12 trees. Where is the nature? And it's not their fault. It's not the rural people's fault that the government isn't doing anything. And I already said that there is a rapid growth of cities. So there isn't a rural population too. You can literally find any undeveloped rural places in villages. There is everything, but still they can't find a job because they're not educated. They're unliterated. And it would still increase, it's true. You know how? And you talked about sexual harassment. Well, it's not only them. Aren't educated people doing that too? Of course they are. And you talked about financial problem too. Bangladesh is a poor country, and it's because of, and you talked about a solution. Then why aren't you soluting it here? I mean, where is the rich people donating their money for the poor ones? There are hundreds of beggars right on the street, but how many of us giving them money? We only give like what, 2 to 5 takas? And in the bags we have like more than 2 days. Thank you.
Now I am requesting our honorable judge, Taslima Samadmiz, to say something, to give her opinion about this debate. Please.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure to be here with you, alhamdulillah. It's a very nice debate. We need to know that it's a special niyama from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our nature. So there are two parts, urban and it can be the village areas. But the migration is happening from the very ancient time. Actually, the civilization happened when there is a water body, the rivers are there, or the seasides and the agricultural area. Depending on all these facilities, actually, the civilization grew. And for our present situation, I think traffic is one of the main hazards. We all need to think very carefully about that. I really wanted that someone should mention about the traffic problems over here. And definitely the child labor, unskilled professions, and also poverty are one of the reasons that we need to decentralize our city, our urban areas to the village areas or our hometown. Yes, of course, the facilities should be equal in urban areas and the other areas. So there should have a very well balanced situation. And it's very nice to see you all. You are arguing very nicely with strong points, both of the teams. You really did well. I enjoyed a lot. Alhamdulillah.
I am humbly requesting our Honorable MD Sir to come on the stage to declare this result. Please come on stage.
Alhamdulillah. For the topics, undeclared marks only. Then total points of the proposition is 279. And another, again the topic 240. But I don't know whose team is the winner, but I'm just declaring the number. The total points of proposition is 279 and again the topic 240.
With excitement, with excitement.
Again, thank you students, thank you very much. I hope in future you will do better inshallah.